Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Silverlines Beauty Playbook. So today's video is going to be a little story time video. I've been wanting to do videos like this for a very long time, but then again, when you don't have anything to talk about, then you don't have a video to make. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I got me a big old glass, honey, so let me just get to talking. Hold on. I am Nigerian. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. I came to the States at the age of 12. I think I turned 12 here. It was really, really nice because America was something that I saw in magazines, movies. I mean, everything about it was really, really awesome, and I couldn't wait to be in a space like this. This transition was tough. When I first came, everything was really nice and new and awesome when we first came, you know, eating certain fruits like strawberries, cherries, blueberries, all the berries in the world. Finally getting to eat all these things you only saw in movies or on TV was really exciting for me and my little sister. I came to the States with my two sisters. My older sister is 6 years older than me, and then my younger sister is, we're like a year and a half apart or something like that. So we were closer in age, and so we experienced a lot of things together. When school started, that's when things got a little bit tricky. It was the first time in my life that I'd ever hated being African and plus Nigerian. I just hated it. Imagine me coming from this raw, very raw space like Africa, raw space like Nigeria, and coming into a space where everybody's like, they speak differently, or I speak differently. I think it was me. I came into a space where everybody was different to me. And I tried so hard to blend in, and I just stuck out like a sore thumb. I had the thickest African accent ever. And it's so funny because I knew that I spoke differently, but I didn't think that it was a big deal. Probably didn't smell really good either. I mean, I didn't grow up using deodorant. I know, right? Took showers every day. I mean, my mom required us to take showers at least twice a day. We took showers. We had to take one before bed and one before we left the house and one before bed. Never thought that I stunk, but apparently I did. Didn't know. Being in school, I was always so nervous that I sweated a lot and I would stain my white shirt. So I decided not to wear white shirts ever in school. I would only wear a black shirt with the hopes that if you didn't see it, you didn't smell it. School was really, really hard because the kids picked on me all the time. I got the names like fall into the gap because I had a gap. I mean muscles because I have like big old arms and I hated my arms. African booty scratcher, monkey, FOB, fresh off the boat. People got creative with that stuff. Nothing was working. I don't think there was anything I was really happy about. I wasn't happy about who I was. I hated who I was for a very, very long time. At that point, I didn't want to be here anymore. With everything that was going on in school, I got into a couple fights. I didn't start them. I promise I didn't start them. I would just be chilling and somebody would just come and push me and hit me or slam into a locker or something. And I remember this one day, honey, this one girl came and pushed me. I'm not going to say her name because it's possible that she might see this video. She asked me for a pencil or an eraser. I think it was an eraser. She says, "Let me see your eraser." At the time, I didn't know that when somebody said, "Let me see your stuff," it meant that they wanted it. Like they wanted to borrow it or they wanted to take it. I said, "Here." And I looked and I literally showed it to her. I was like, "Here's my eraser." And she was like, "Let me see your eraser." Bitch, eraser? And then the next thing you know, honey, I heard, "Your mama is a monkey." And I just lost it. I remember she had all these barrettes in her hair, and by the time I was done with her, all the barrettes were all gone. Some of her twisties came out. I felt really, really bad for the girl, but I had so much anger in me that I just had to release after, you know, years and years and years of people just making fun of me and making me feel like I didn't belong. And so I got into a lot of trouble as a kid, and my mom worked 2 jobs. I don't think she realized that I was dealing with a lot, and even if she did, she just figured, "You're an African child, you don't have problems, you're in America, deal with it." Unfortunately, where I'm from, a lot of people don't know that people can actually have difficulty mentally dealing with a lot of things. Like, a lot of our strength was just considered physical, you know? And I feel like nobody ever sat me down and said, Silverline, what's wrong? So my mom told everybody back at home and anybody that would listen that I was a bad child. She will call the cops on me damn near every single time. I ran away from home a couple of times. I lived on my own on the streets a couple of times because I just couldn't deal. I was still going to school. I was selling lollipops because my mom wouldn't give me money for lunch. I had various summer jobs when I had the chance to, but for me, I felt like I was just a bad kid because I did what I did, but I only did what I did because I was reacting to what was given to me. And so for a very long time as an African child, my mom had threatened, you guys are gonna go way back. You're gonna be going back soon. I'm gonna ship your ass back to Africa and you guys can get a thorough ass whooping there. I'm American now. You brought me here. I'm gonna stay here. I ain't going back. You ain't taking me back to nowhere. A family friend of ours, she called. It was a random call because we hadn't heard from her ever since we left Nigeria. She was like, I wish I could see you guys again. I was like, yeah. I was like, that would be so nice to see you and the kids and stuff like that. And she was like, well, what would it take for you guys to come? And I said, if you bought the ticket. I mean, I can't afford the ticket. If you bought the ticket, I'll come. I can't remember how long in between the first phone call to the second phone call, but she calls back and she's like, I got you guys tickets, you and your sister. And I said, oh my goodness, that was quick. Next thing you know, the tickets came in the mail. We get up and go. Me and my sister packed exactly 2 weeks worth of clothing and we were super excited. We had all this stuff we wanted to do and see, and I felt like, to me, it was a big break because I had been dealing with so much. I had a last rough 3 years and I just needed to be in a space where people spoke like me, smelt like me maybe. I felt like that would help me feel a lot better. And got to Nigeria, spent, the 2 weeks was really, really fun. I remember my mom friend was like, hand over your passport so they don't go missing. And so I gave the passports to her. We're getting closer and closer to time school was supposed to start. So I call her up in a conversation and I say, hey, mom said you guys were supposed to buy us a ticket back. I was wondering what dates you're going to be shipping, getting these tickets together because it's almost time. And she said, oh, your uncle is supposed to buy the tickets. And I was like, my uncle? Well, mom said you were going to buy the tickets. She said, no, your uncle. Okay. All right. So I call up my uncle and he's like, I don't know anything about tickets. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So I call my mom. I'm like, I finally get her on the phone. I was like, Mom, something's going on with the tickets. Y'all not coming back. Something's going on with the tickets. You guys are not coming back. Gonna stay in Nigeria for the next 3 years. So nobody knows about the tickets. No. So get comfortable. I said, what? I was livid. I could not contain myself. I remember those words like they happened yesterday. I didn't have my passports. I didn't have any money. Even if I had the passport, where was I going to get money to buy tickets back? For a very long time, I hated my life. I just hated being young. I hated that a lot of people had control over how things were done around me. I hated a lot. It didn't matter who you were, what you were, I just hated. I felt like everybody wasn't somebody to trust. And I think that that's where I found God. That's where, at a young age, I actually started to believe in Him. There were just so many things that happened, and I think that that was the first time that I knew that God was real. I mean, growing up, I went to church because I was required to, but that was the age that I first came in contact with God. And that was the age that I finally understood who He was and why He was doing what He was doing. God will always use people in your life to straighten you out. He will find ways to get in touch with a child like you, like a child of God. Even though some of the ways in which he does it, you might not necessarily like, He will find a way to get you back to Him. Because if it wasn't for God, I don't think I would have made it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that this touches anybody out there who's trying to figure out where they're supposed to be in life.